Kim Jong-un's UN state-owned news agency KCNA claimed Trump's deployment showed reckless moves for invading that had now reached a serious phase. North Korean state media today warned of a nuclear attack on the United States at any sign of a U.S. preemptive strike as a U.S. Navy strike group led by a nuclear-powered aircraft steamed towards the Western Pacific. Tension has escalated sharply on the Korean Peninsula, with talk of military action by the United States gaining traction following its strikes last week against Syria and amid concerns the reclusive North may soon conduct a sixth nuclear test. North Korea's official Rodong Sinmun newspaper said the country was prepared to respond to any aggression by the United States. Our revolutionary strong army is keenly watching every move by enemy elements, with our nuclear sight focused on the U.S. invasionary bases not only in South Korea and the Pacific Operation Theater but also in the U.S. mainland, it said. It comes after Trump sent the aircraft carrier USS Carl Vinson into the Sea of Japan after several provocative missile launches from Kim's communist nation. The US president has warned in recent weeks he would be willing to act alone against the hermit state if China was not willing to put pressure on Kim Jong-un's UN to de-escalate his military aggression. And today he tweeted, "North Korea is looking for trouble. If China decides to help, that would be great. If not, we will solve the problem without them." U.S. A. He added, "I explained to the president of a foreign ministry statement from the North Korean government on KCNA said, we will hold the US wholly accountable for the catastrophic consequences to be entailed by its outrageous actions. The DPRK is ready to react to any mode of war desired by the US. Today, the Russia Foreign Ministry said it was extremely concerned by Washington's stance on North Korea. Tillerson is due to hold talks with Sergei Lavrov, his Russian counterpart, tomorrow, and the Russians, in a statement dedicated to his visit, said it was extremely worried by the possibility that the United States might decide to take unilateral military action against North Korea. North Korea has carried out its latest missile launch just days before Trump was scheduled to meet with Chinese leader Xi Jinping. The launch was just the latest in a string of blasts from North Korea, with the state believed to be trying to equip itself with nuclear weapons. The USS Carl Vinson is one of 10 active US aircraft carriers, which has more than 60 aircrafts and employs around 5,000 personnel. Pyongyang has defended its pursuit of nuclear weapons following the US strike on Syria. Trump's missile strike on Syria on Friday has been used as justification to build up its weaponry. China that a trade deal with the U.S. will be far better for them if they solve the North Korean problem. A North Korean foreign military official told Pyongyang mouthpiece KCNA, "Some forces are loud-mouthed that the recent US military attack on Syria is an action of warning us, but we are not frightened by it." South Korean acting President Hwang Kyo-ahn warned of greater provocations by North Korea and ordered the military to intensify monitoring and to ensure close communication with the United States. It is possible the North may wage greater provocations such as a nuclear test timed with various anniversaries including the Supreme People's Assembly, said Huang, acting leader since former President Park Geun-hye was removed amid a graft scandal. The North convened a Supreme People's Assembly session on Tuesday, one of its twice-yearly sessions in which major appointments are announced and national policy goals are formally approved. But South Korean officials took pains to quell talk in social media of an impending security crisis or outbreak of war. We'd like to ask precaution so as not to get blinded by exaggerated assessment about the security situation on the Korean Peninsula, Defense Ministry spokesman Moon Sang-kyun said. Rex Tillerson has claimed that China agrees that action has to be taken regarding North Korea. The U.S. Secretary of State told CBS's Face the Nation that there had been extensive discussions around the dangerous situation in North Korea. Mr. Tillerson said, President 11 clearly understands, and I think agrees, that the situation has intensified and has reached a certain level of threat that action has to be taken. However, it comes as reports that China has deployed 150,000 to the North Korean border amid fears citizens could soon be fleeing the reclusive state if the US sends an airstrike. The Trump administration has been pressuring China to do more to rein in North Korea, which sends the vast majority of its exports to its giant neighbor across the Yellow Sea. But U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson has said last week's U.S. military strike against Syria over its alleged use of chemical weapons was a warning to other countries, including North Korea, that a response is likely if they pose a danger. As a U.S. Navy strike group headed to the region in a show of force, China and South Korea agreed on Monday to slap tougher sanctions on North Korea if it carries out nuclear or long-range missile tests, a senior official in Seoul said. North Korea marks several major anniversaries this month and often marks the occasions with major tests of military hardware. And now China has threatened to bomb North Korea by putting forward a bottom line. An article in the Communist Party-affiliated Global Times stressed the North's nuclear facilities must not put northeastern regions of China in danger. The editorial said, China has a bottom line that it will protect at all costs, that is, the security and stability of northeast China. If the bottom line is touched, China will employ all means available including the military means to strike back. By that time, it is not an issue of discussion whether China acquiesces in the US blows, but the Chinese People's Liberation Army, PLA, will launch attacks on North Korean nuclear facilities on its own. Chinese President Xi Jinping, however, has called for a peaceful resolution during a telephone conversation with Mr. Trump today. The dollar fell against the yen in Asian trading this morning, as concerns over tensions with North Korea and Syria weighed on U.S. Treasury yields and offset expectations of U.S. interest rate hikes. The dollar extended earlier losses against the yen, slipping 0.3% to 110.63 Japanese yen, moving 63 Japanese yen, moving further away from its overnight high of 111. 57. It remained solidly in the 110. 11 to 112. 19 range in which it has traded since late March. The possibility of some kind of U.S. military action against North Korea in response to its weapons tests gained traction after President Donald Trump ordered missile strikes against Syria last week in retaliation for a chemical weapons attack on civilians by President Bashar al-Assad's forces. The market has become more cautious about Trump's policies, with attention to increased risks, said Harumi Tagachi, principal economist at IHS Markit in Tokyo. The yen is easy to buy in such situations. China and South Korea agreed on Monday to impose tougher sanctions on North Korea if it carries out nuclear or long-range missile tests, a senior official in Seoul said, as a U.S. Navy strike group headed to the region in a show of force. Hong Kong stocks closed at a 4-week low on Tuesday. Geopolitical tensions involving North Korea and the Middle East hurt risk appetites. The benchmark Hang Seng Index dropped 0.7% at the close, to 24,088.46, while the Hong Kong China Enterprises Index lost 0.9%. to 10,165.98. Today's Hang Seng close was the lowest since the 15th of March.